What is up, ladies and gentlemen? How are you guys doing today? Hope you're doing good. Hope you are doing well. I hope your classes are going well. And I hope that this helps you a little bit, whether you're creating your own or using the template that we're going to build as we go. And so, as soon as we get done building this, I'm going to walk through why, what things to think as you're creating this. But then you're going to be able to make a copy of this form, and it'll be linked in my Instagram bio. And I'm Tyler Tarver on Instagram. So, click on that, and then you can get that. So, we are going live on our Patreon, or my Patreon, where people can join as a member and they get to submit what resources we make. And this was submitted by Sarah. She would love a check-in, check-out attendance form. And so I was like, great, we'll do it. And I'll walk you guys through it. This could be a tutorial for anybody creating any type of form, but more primarily an attendance check-in form. So we're making this for the idea that you are either virtual or maybe a hybrid. So you've got students in person, but also at home, or students are at their homes. I think it could work for like if you're doing only in person, it could be a check-in, check-out form for when you're working. And so, all right, let's get rolling. Sorry, I just thought of something I want to make sure I put on the form. So I added it to my list. Okay. So we're going to do this through Google Forms because, Google's a goat. So here we go. So I've got, I'm in Google Drive, and I'm going to go in and I'm just going to create new Google Form. Oh my goodness, guys, check this out. They added Google Forms. You got to see this. This is incredible. This is incredible. And I've always joked, like every PD I do for teachers, I'm always like, I don't know why they don't have Google Forms in the top 3, because it's like the GOAT for teachers. They have included Google Forms right here in the top. It used to be just these 3. God, I'm sorry. This is revolutionary. I love it whenever I'm on camera and I see a change that Google's made, and I'm just excited. I'm proud of Google. And once again, they learn and they grow. Okay. Now, there's 2 schools of thought on this. Sometimes they will think that it's best to put all of this, the check-in, check-out, on the exact same form. That's how I would do it, just because I would want it in one place. However, I know a lot of people that have like a daily check-in and a check-out. So it's like they have 2 forms. That's fine if that's what you want to do and you're using this template. We're going to create them together. You could go in, when you make a copy of the form for yourself, you could make one of them, just delete and adjust a couple of the wording, just some of the wording, and then make a copy of that and make the exit. So it's up to you on whatever works best for your class. So let's get a rolling. We're going to call this student check-in. Let's call it student attendance, because students take things more seriously when they hear words that they're familiar with. Attendance check-in/out. Okay, now you know this. I'm gonna walk you through this as we do the Google form. If you have Untitled up here, as soon as you type in that header, click up here, and it's going to fill in exactly what you have. Now you can change that, but it's a good way to make sure you don't have like 100 things in your drive titled Untitled form. Description, I always like to give clear instructions and expectations here, because students need clear instructions and expectations, but also it's documentation that you've told them what you need to tell them. You could say, this needs to be filled out every day as soon as you start and finish your school day. If you take a break for a while, you need to check in and check out during those times. Okay, I think it's pretty clear. You could go in and add description there if you want. Now, before we get rolling too far into it, I always, and I'm serious, guys, I feel pretty comfortable with Google Forms, but I will always roll through my settings up here in Google Forms. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to check through all of these to make sure everything is good. Collect email response or email address. Yes, I want that on, because I want to make sure they don't sign in as another student. If you collect email addresses, that's about as safe and secure as you can get. And you're like, well, they could get each other's passwords and sign in. Yeah, they could. They could also write their name on a piece of paper and, someone else's name on a piece of paper and turn it in. It's just something you're going to have to deal with if it happens. Response receipts. I would just say always. It's good for them to get an email when they check in and check out. I've noticed that students and adults alike, when they hit submit, and if they don't like see proof that they submitted it, a lot of times they get nervous, and that could lead to more emails for you. So I would just say always, and that way they have documentation in their email. Requires sign in limit to one response. No, we don't want to do that because we want to have them do this twice a day, every day, minimum twice a day. Can they edit after they submit? No. And see summary, chart, and text responses? No. All right. Now I'm going to go to presentation. We're only going to make it one page, so we don't need a progress bar. Do we want to shuffle the question order? No, that would be silly for something like this. And then show link to submit another response. Thank you. Happy learning. Happy learning. You can change that if you want. It's under presentation. Quizzes, we're not doing a quiz because we're not grading this because it's something we're doing to check in. So I'm going to hit save. Awesome. Okay, so we're good. We've got the first part. Now, the first thing I always like to collect is their name. I know you're collecting their email address automatically. But it's good to have name because when you're sorting through your data, it's going to be easier on you than looking at email addresses. Now, one thing I did not talk about is in the settings, it's going to have for your district, it's going to have an option that says limit to users at yourschool.com, whatever y'all's email address is. You should turn that on. You want to restrict it to their email address. This will be good for multiple reasons. One, it verifies that they're in their school account. But two, that means that they are logged into the correct account. How many of you guys have given a Google form to students to do at home and they're like, I don't have access to it, but it's like one kid out of 30 or 100, and you're like, yeah, you do. You're just signed into your regular Gmail account. So I would have them start their day off and make sure they're logged into their school account. And that's a very easy way to guarantee that they are signed into the right account. Okay. So name, I don't like personally, again, it's your form, I'm not your boss. You do what you want. But for me personally, I don't like, and again, we're wanting the students to fill this out. I don't like it whenever students are able to fill out their own name, because then they'll do all lowercase or they won't space or last name then first name. You get a lot of inconsistencies. And one of the things we definitely want to be able to do is sort and build charts and graphs based on the students. So what we could do is you could let it to where they fill it in themselves. I am going to prefer a drop down. Okay. Now I'm going to show you a little hack. I say it's a hack. It's just like a shortcut, a trick to being able to put all of your students' names in the form quickly and easily. So we're going to go to a spreadsheet where we have all the students' names. Excellent. All right, so I have all my students' names. It's not labeled right. I'm going to click on the top name. If you have not built a form to collect every student's name, email, all that stuff, parent name, I have a template. tarveracademy.com/resources. Just go to tarveracademy.com, click on resources. It's called Getting to Know You form. You need to make a copy of that and you need to get their information. It's not too late. So I'm going to click the top one. I'm letting go. I'm going to hold the shift button and I'm going to select the bottom one. Now I'm going to copy those. Then I am going to go back to my form. I'm going to click in option 1, and now I'm going to paste. You can copy and paste entire columns, and Google recognizes it because they own Google Forms and they own Google Sheets. Okay, let's see. Oh, thank goodness. I was in alphabetical order when I did that. If not, I would have recommended put it in alphabetical order before you drop it. That we don't have to reorder these. I'm not going to add any more options, and I'm going to make this required. I want this to be a required question because I want every student to put in their name, not just like, oh, I'm just going to click through it. Okay. Now we want to keep this form as short as possible and as accessible as possible, because that's going to allow our students to get through this quickly. You don't want to go through too much hullabaloo, if you will, to do this. Now, we're going to create a new question. So over here on the right, I'm going to go to add question. If you have multiple class periods, you could say, your assigned class period. This might not be an applicable question. So when you make a copy of this, you might go in and delete this. And we're going to do multiple choice on this one because there's not going to be that many options. You could do first period, and then I'm going to do second period, and I'm going to roll all the way through all 7 of those. Third period. Now, again, you may not have this. This may be something you need to delete. It might be something that you separate by, like, if you have in-person classes, you might have, full virtual. I'll put that as an option here because I know some teachers are, they are having to, like, they're putting their virtual students in their own class period if they're a hybrid. And so, I'm sorry, I'm trying to do 2 things at once. Let's do 6th period and 7th period. I think that's normal. And then I'm going to add in, virtual, virtual student. So that would be for if it's like a full-time virtual student. Again, you might delete that if that's not something you feel is applicable. Okay, make that required. I think everything on this is going to be required if you're going to ask what I would do. And that's exactly what I would do. Tech. I don't know why I said tech. Next, because it's Tech Tuesday, patreon.com/Tyler Tarver. How are you feeling? I think that's our next question. How are you feeling right now? Now, there's a couple different ways you could go with this. Some people, they would prefer like a linear scale. They do like 1 to 10, and they would say, I feel terrible. You could say, you can even say, may we speak, if you really want them to talk to you. I feel terrible. But as a teacher, if you see somebody lower end of that number scale, you're going to want to reach out to them anyways. And then your top one, let's say, fantastic, ready to work. Okay, so I did a number scale. Because I went in teaching high school, so like my brain is not always geared. I try to keep everybody K through 12 in mind, actually K through college in mind. But I think that for me, I'm going to go with a number scale. I know a lot of teachers would prefer to add in a photos, and it's like smiley faces, like I feel good. I feel, you can judge it based on like I'm tired or I'm sleepy or whatever. You could add those in options. You could even add a thing that says like, what is one word to describe how you feel right now? You could put it 1 word or emoji if you wanted. Boom. Okay, to describe how you feel right now. And that way you can get like a quick look, like tired, happy. It might give more context to, what they just answered on the other one. And it's still like 1 word. If you're asking for 1 word, that doesn't seem hard. And honestly, I think you're probably going to get a more like spur of the moment reaction. Like I'm going to just, if I have 1 word, what do I feel? Boom, I'm going to get it over with. Again, you could insert photos here if you wanted to. Like you could just do, if you want to do multiple choice, and then you could go over here and you could add a photo. All right. So if you want to go for that, you can. Not a bad option at all. And I recommend Canva, link in my bio. It is the best graphic design thing I've ever used as far as like the internet goes. And I've used a ton of them. Okay, let's see what else. Here's another question that I saw this on training I did yesterday. The teacher was talking about, they created one of these. It says, where are you learning today? Okay, you could say at school. You could say at home. I'd probably just put school and home. I would put at. I don't know why I did that. Sorry. And then you could add other. So maybe there's somewhere else, like at a coffee shop. It'd be good to know. Make that required. And again, we want to keep this short. And I feel like I may have even, like I might delete one of those too, but if you want, you don't have to. Okay, let's do this. Next one. Main goal for today. And then because I like for us to have like a main goal, and this would keep a short answer, short and sweet. Hopefully they go and they text it in, make it really quick. We're going to make that required. And then this one can be optional. Is there anything you need from me? Good way for them to check in. I would do, you could do paragraph if you want. This is optional. And it's just a way for you to check in on your students and see what they've got going. Some might need a call, some might need clarification on an assignment, some might be stressed out or having a home issue that they need you to check in on. So I think that's really good. Trying to think if there's anything else I'll put on there. I think this is pretty short and sweet. I mean, this is like a 2-minute check-in, and I think it'll be pretty easy. Let's take a look at what it's going to look like for them. So I went to preview, in case you didn't see that little eyeball up there in the upper right. That's going to show us the view. This is what a student would see whenever they are checking in or out. Email address, again, you're going to change this for your school to where it's automatically pulling it. So they're not going to have to fill out their email address every time. It's going to automatically pull it. They can choose their name. So we're Albus. Assigned class period, we're going to be a virtual student. I feel like an 8. What's one word or emoji describe how you feel right now? Tired. I'm not tired. I feel great. Where are you learning? Home. Main goal, catch up. And then, is there anything you need from me? Just keep being great out there. And that's how the students fill it out. I didn't spell great right. There you go. So that's how you fill it out. I'm not going to submit it because I want to make this into a template for you guys. All right. Now, I'm going to refresh my page so I can clear out what I put. So I'm going to reload. Okay. So now I want to show you where I would put that in Google Classroom. Okay, so I'm going to take this link up here and I'm going to copy it. Or you could go over here to where you were editing, hit send, and you can get the link right there. So I'm going to copy that. Now I'm going to go to Google Classroom. So let's go to classroom.google.com. Do you guys know how to add headers? You can always add headers in here. Like I always put, you can go into customize theme and you can choose an image, and then you can pick like something fun. What you got? What you got over here? I've got some. Let's say, we can go jelly beans. How great is that? That's so lovely. There's got to be a better one. Let's see. We could do a wedding one. That'd be interesting. iRobot. That's kind of scary. Look at this. We'll go Thomas Jefferson on them. Insert that. Boom. So we can go custom theme, color, header, all that. I'll probably change it to Tarver Academy. Why not? Okay, so I'm going to take that link. I'm going to go and find my class. Where is my fake class? Here we go. We're going to add here. I do not think you should put it in the stream. Okay, and here's why. It's because that's going to scroll out. This is something you want them to check every day. And for things that I tell you guys the students need to check every day, I definitely say put it under classwork. Now, is it for a grade? No. So you have to choose a material. Select it as a material. We're going to call this, daily student check-in /out form. Okay. Fill this out every day when you start and stop working. If you take a break, make sure you fill this out. Okay, there you go. We kept it short, sweet, and very clear. We're going to hit add, and I could just I could toss the link in, or I could just go to my Google Drive and I can grab this form, toss it straight into there. Boom, student attendance, insert. Okay, now before you hit post, we want to do topic. We want this to be under classroom resources. Now, if you did, like say you take this or you create a check-in form and a checkout form and they're 2 separate forms, if I go to 2, I might do like student attendance as its own topic and put that at the top. But since I only have 1, I'm going to do classroom resources. See if you want to attach to multiple classes. We don't. All students. And then I'm going to hit post. Okay. So that's going to put that in Google Classroom. Daily student check-in, check-out form. They can click here and they can fill it out. So that's what I would do for a student check-in, check-out form. You guys can have this template. I'm going to put it on my Instagram, instagram.com/Tyler Tarver. And I'm going to put the link in my bio, or I'll put it at tarveracademy.com. I just started yelling in my ear. Goodness gracious. I act like I don't know how to use Instagram. Go to my profile. You can click the link in my profile. and you'll be able to go directly to one of these resources and all my other resources. Or you can go to tarveracademy.com/resources. I'm at the Google one, and I'll have this in there. And if you're a Patreon member, I'm going to keep this. I'm going to keep this walkthrough open for a couple days on YouTube. After, we're going live right now on Patreon, but I'm going to keep it on YouTube. If you want access to it here in about a week or two, I'm going to take it off of public on YouTube, and I'm going to make it only available to my Patreon people right here. What's up? So if you want it, you can be a Patreon member where I toss out walkthroughs, resources. You get them early. I try to give as many resources as I can free, but you get the ultimate Tarver Academy resource spreadsheet on there as well. So get a lot of options, a lot of walkthroughs, and I definitely think it's worth the price of admission. But this resource is free to anybody. If you want to go check the link in my bio, this walkthrough will just be for Patreon though, after about a week. That's why. So much for tuning in. For the people watching live, great. And Patreon people, if you want, tell me what resource you want me to do next, and I will get that thing made for you. Y'all be good, stay sweet, and as we always say here, never stop learning. Peace. See you guys.